Abigail challenges certain elements of vampire lore and has substantially the ending. We break down the horror film's most significant revelations and ending moments. Abigail, the latest horror, ends with a lot of death and blood. Abigail's comments have mostly praised the horror film for being fun and entertaining. It ends with Joey and Frank being the last ones standing. In a surprising turn of events, Lambert admits to being a vampire after having worked with Frank 2 years prior. He would like Frank to work with him to kill Abigail and her father, but Frank decides to kill Lambert instead. With only Frank and Joey left, Abigail fights them both off at first. Joey tries to stop Frank, who hits her with a spear before going after Abigail again in an effort to kill her by draining her of blood. Joey is able to remove herself from the spear and Abigail offers her a deal. If Joey helps her kill Frank, she lets her go free. Joey agrees but is beaten by Frank, though she manages to sidestep his mind control because it hasn't kicked in yet. She protects Abigail and they prevail over Frank. Christoph Lazar appears but also lets Joey go. Before getting into the video, please subscribe to my channel Catch Up Saga, and if you like it then also gives us a like in the end of the video. Why in the end does Abigail allow Joey to live? Joey had made a pinky promise towards the beginning of the movie, so Abigail made her a deal, which is why she lets Joey live. But it wasn't only that Joey agreed to help Abigail defeat Frank. Joey also saved Abigail's life in the horror film's final moment and was the one who shown the most empathy to the ballerina throughout the movie. Zoe was also very mindful of Abigail when no one else was. It's likely Abigail also noticed that Joey was determined to try and do not right by her son, and if she killed her, she would leave Caleb without a mother. Abigail was already frustrated by the fact that her own father had grown tired of her and left her behind, and she did not want another child to feel that way if she could help it. Joey could have killed both Frank and Abigail after being turned into a vampire, but chose to help the pair rather in a show of good faith. Is the father of Abigail Dracula? An explanation of Matthew Good's character. Christoph Lazar was talked about multiple times, although the intentionally bloody and violent Abigail, but he did not make an entrance until the film's final moments. Abigail's father nearly kills Joey but stops at the request of his daughter, and although it is not overt for those who aren't as comfortable with vampire stories, Abigail indicates the character is none other than Dracula himself, namely because Abigail is inspired by the 1936 film Dracula's Daughter and is pretty much a remake of the classic movie. The title character of Dracula's daughter, Countess Maria Jacka, desires to break free from her father's influence. In contrast to in Abigail, Dracula's daughter wants her father to pay her some attention. Even not being the exact same story, Abigail being an influential vampire's daughter more than suggests that her father is Bram Stoker's Count Dracula. Even though he only shows up at the end of Abigail and the makers don't reveal his identity within the film, Good's appearance and actions tease his true identity. The inside look at Frank's evil scheme and Abigail's plan. In a smart twist, Frank turns into a villain at the end of Abigail. Instead of that, teams up with Lambert. How so Frank planned to take out Abigail on his own and turn into the big vampire in charge. Not having Abigail in his way, Frank likely figured he would be able to kill Christoph Lazar with little difficulty. Making Joey into a vampire implied Frank would have somebody on his side who he believed he could control. In the end, his plot against Abigail did not work, but turning into a vampire gave him some hope that his revenge against her and her father would be accomplished. The truth about Abigail's kidnapping twist. Why she actually captured and wanted to kill everyone. After acting to be scared of her kidnappers, Abigail admitted that she was the one who planned their capture. Abigail aimed to kill everyone as revenge for working against her father, although it was often done indirectly and by chance. Abigail wanted to take hold and kill Joey and the Rat Pack to get the attention of her dad. The ballerina felt that if she killed enough of his rivals, he would return and stop disliking her. Abigail was also bored and she loved teasing her victims before killing them, as she had not much better to do with her time. Who are Abigail's Rat Pack and what is their history? Abigail chosen the Rat Pack as they frequently call themselves because of their history with Christophe Lazar. While Abigail does not disclose why Dean and Rickles were the first to die were chosen, Abigail does disclose the rest of the characters' backstories. Zoe's real name is Anna Lucia Cruz, a field medic who destroyed her career after becoming addicted to morphine. She abandoned her son Caleb and began working as an underground medic until she nicked an attidy of a man close to Christophe Lazar while high. Frank is Adam Barnett, an undercover cop who apprehended Lazar lieutenants before Abigail assassinated them before they could have a conversation. After that, Frank felt empty and turned his back on his family. Terence LeCroy, better known as Rickles, is a gang member from Montreal who became avaricious and prolific from Christophe Lazar's subsidiary. And lastly, there's Sammy, also known as Jessica Honey, a hacker who ultimately stole from another one of Lazar's businesses. Therefore, it was no accident that they all ended up working together to kidnap Abigail. The real meaning of Abigail explained. Abigail changes the script, with the culprits becoming the victims. And while Abigail actually is a vampire with enormous power, Abigail's ending highlights never underestimating someone based on their appearance and assumed capabilities. That goes for the Rat Pack too, each of whom had their own set of skills and backstories that did not necessarily fit the mold. Joy was more worried about possibly being a bad mother, and letting her fear push her away from her son only gave her an out, though she finds out that it's all about getting up from Abigail of all people. How Abigail's ending picks up Abigail too. Joy may have gone away with her life whole, but Abigail and her father are still very much at whole at the end of the film. Vitally, Abigail and Christophe Lazar seem like they are on even better terms, which indicates the father-daughter duo could work together in the future. Abigail may have let Joey go, but she did not say that she would stop killing people, and if her father joined her, then Abigail too could prove to be an even bigger bloodbath. It's also possible Joey, as an only survivor, might become a vampire hunter going after Abigail and Christophe. Even though Abigail's last scene leaves the door open for the ballerina to use her victims in another graphic manner, Radio Silence horror movie does not necessarily need a sequel, though one would be happy to see what Abigail and even Joey might get up to in the future. That's it for the video. If you like it, then please like my video and share your viewpoints in the comment section. For more videos like this, also don't forget to subscribe my channel.